Or say Kahal, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yoshai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and also to the brothers on the highways and byways that pushing us with in sincerity. I'm Rai Banyam from GMS Trinidad East. Alright, just gonna break down small scripture here, for the younger brothers concerning temptation, you know what I mean? You see, because we all had to go through temptation, and that is where the challenge come. Because right now, being returned to the Most High, you gotta seek Him 10 times more. That is one. And I was in Baruch 4:28, and two. When you do come to Him, you remember that you're rehearsing a righteous act. You know what I mean? That's also in Judges 5:11. So actually rehearsing that act, you remember that we were all born and shaped in iniquity, whereas that we was taught. You know what I mean? When we was growing up, we never knew to know the right path. We were taught an evil path, a wicked path. So being returned to the Heavenly Father, you know what I mean? How do you see like a child beginning to walk, you have cuts and bruises and sort? It's like that, you know. And your cuts and bruises, it's not to make you weaker, but it's to make you stronger. As you reason the scripture say in Proverbs, it say, our just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. You know, you will have to go through it. You know what I mean? It's not something that any Israelite that came to this knowledge was exempted from, you know. Because he say here, this Sirach 2 verse 1, he said, my son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. You know what I mean? So it's nothing strange, you know what I mean? That, a man come and end up in this kind of trials and temptations the same way likewise, you know what I mean? Because let's get an next precept before I hit this one. That's Acts, you know. Men just had to go through that. Men that follow Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, they have to actually go through temptations, and that is one of the greatest challenges that we all as Israelites have to face. Alright? Let's see if I can find a particular precept here. So okay, I was looking in the wrong spot for that scripture, but anyway, it was in Acts 20 verse 19. He says, serving the Lord with all humility of mind, which is a lowliness of mind. He said, and with many tears. He said, the temptations which befall me, you understand, because he went through that too. He said, by the lying weight of the Jews. So he tell you plain out, hey, listen, I went through that same temptation, even as you and all doing the same thing too. Yahushua and all too, he went through the same thing likewise. Yahushua had his challenges the same way. A lot of people actually feel that we Lord didn't went through that kind of thing, but hey, it's not so. So he say here in Luke 22:28, he say, ye are they which have continued with me. You feel the example yourself, with me in my temptations. You know what I mean? So he tell you plain out that, hey, we follow him even through these temptations likewise. You know what I mean? Likewise, because every man has had to be going through this. So coming back to James So the scripture I want to really open with. That'll be James 1 verse 2. James 1 verse 2. He said, know this, that the trying, slacking. Note, I say, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, which is different types of temptations, you know what I mean? Because, when you look up that word temptations in the Hebrew, it is Nasayawam, right? Nasayawam. And the word carry a heavy meaning too, when you do look it up, like in the Blue Letter, it's on the computer here, that's the Blue Letter, you know. Let's say get it up here, play it in the Greek. Right. So the word here,
Strong's G 3986, parasmas.
So parasmas is in the Greek, right? It's a far better standard language than the English. But anyhow, parasmas, it actually means an experiment, attempt, trial, proving. You say trial, proving, the trial made for you by my bodily conditions, since conditions serve as to test the love of the Galatians towards Paul. You say B, the trial, right, of man's fidelity, it's an integrity, virtue, I mean, consistency, which means to see how they hold, the strength, their mind, and enticement to sin. Right, it was just to go against the Heavenly Father word, enticement to sin, tempt, whether arising from the desires or from the outward circumstances that you might have to go through, and internal temptation to sin, because internal is like like Galatians 4:14, I mean internal. Let me get example what I mean by internal 4:14. He said, my temptation which was in my flesh, that is internal. You know what I mean? You're not talking external. This is within your yes, your mind, you know. You say, my temptation which was in my flesh, ye despise not, nor reject, but receive me as an angel of Yahweh, even as Mashiach. So he was talking about which is what in his flesh. Even Paul spoke about that in Romans 7. We actually talk about that from 7 all the way to from chapter 7 verse 14 all the way to about 25. He actually made that quite clear. He said, oh wretched man that he is, because he said, the thing that I want to do, I do not. You have a temptation to face in this flesh, man. This flesh. I remember what the Lord said to Ezra, you know what I mean, concerning when sin entered in on the whole scene, because right, that is a crucial thing, See if I could find that. Yeah, I mean this is second Ezra 5 verse 30. Say, for the grain of evil seed had been sown in the heart of Adam. So now that has been sown from the beginning, and how much ungodliness had it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of the threshing come, till the Most High to destroy this place. So this grain of evil seed had been in the spirit from way back, you know, since Adam transgressed. So that's what they say, internal temptations. Alright? You see of temptations by which the devil sought to divert our Shai the Mashiach from his divine errand. I mean, that's like the temptation where Yahweh Shai went. You see, of the condition of things, or a mental state. Look at that, a mental state by which we are enticed to sin or to lapse from the faith and holiness. You know, so I'm saying, they say, adversity, afflictions, trouble sent by God to serve, to test, or prove one's character, faith, holiness, which is his separateness. Temptation, trial, you say, of God by men. Rebellion against God, by which his power and justice are, as it will put to prove and challenge to show themselves. Now, this goes back even to Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 18:18, because the Most High could also, you know what I mean, put you to the test. That's why they say, pray, boy. You know what I mean? I was trying to tell them, you see, they're praying, because you can get put to the test. Like how Job get put to the test. This is Luke 22:40. He said, and when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that ye enter not into temptation, because hey, if you do so and the Most High put you into it, you know what trial you had to go through? It was like always, like what he did with King Ahab, boy. You know what I mean? He said, who will go up and make him fall at Ramat Gilad? You know, so the Most High could actually try to fall, you know. And them temptation no come soft, because look like how Job endured that. You know, it's a lot. Your temptations will come in many different ways, many different areas. But that is the things where you have to actually endure, you know. That is things you got to endure as a soldier, a good soldier. Oh yeah, how about Hashem Yoshai? You know, that's why I say but let in James 1:4, he say, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. You know, verse 12, he say, blessed is the man that endure temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them that love him. So you might end up in a position, you might find your temptation is great, you know what I mean? Real, you know, challenging, you know. But even as how it might be challenging, it might be heavy in your mind, might be prick in your spirit, you know. Some men does actually fall through that because they just can't enjoy it, you know. But it's something that you have to keep that in mind, you know what I mean? Because look what he said here. No, this one is 1 Peter 1:6. 1 Peter 1:6, he say, wherein ye greatly rejoice through now for a season, right? If need be, ye are in heaviness through the manifold temptation. So men that be in heaviness, because when you get tried, sometimes you fall. I mean, sometimes you overcome. But that don't mean to say you're gonna give up. You know what I'm saying? Because you will go through a lot of the trials and tribulation in that way. But in all the trying that the Most High trying, he will try you, and he will also put away. You know what I mean? This is 1 Corinthians 10. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13. They say, there had no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. So whereas you might say, well, hey, my temptation is different. But men go through this. It's common. I mean, you might feel you are alone going through that. Yeah, it have other men going through that same thing. You know? I would say there's no temptation there's no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Most I know much you could take, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. You know what I mean? That you'll be able to bear it, be able to escape that that challenge that you might be faced with. You know, keep that in mind. Most sides are merciful powered. You know what I mean? This 2 Peter 2:9. He said, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment, to be punished. So the Most High know how to save. You understand? So Akims, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let me just get one more scripture too, you know what I mean? That's the kind of, you know, give a little sense of encouragement how to be able to walk, you know, to overcome that type of temptation. Is Galatians 5:16. He said, this I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary one against another, so that he cannot do the things that he would. I mean, so that is why you say you have to make sure that you walk in the Spirit to overcome. Alright? So that's a short little breakdown concerning temptation. Hope it was edifying to the brothers, you know what I mean? Oh, I just had one more thing I wanted to show, was the etymology of the word, because I went and looked up the etymology of the word. They say the act of enticing someone to sin. They say also an experience or state of being tempted, of old French temptation, Latin. You say noun. You say of action, from past principle, stem of tempter, to feel. Yeah, it's for tempter to feel, try out. You know what I mean? You say see tempt, you say meaning that which, you know. So when you go and you see that word tempt now, the word tempt, you say the 12th century of the devil flesh. You understand? Goes all the way back to flesh. You say of the flesh, etc. You say draw or entice evil or sin, lure someone from God's law to alluring or seductive, from Old French tempter, from the Latin tempere, to feel, try out, attempt, influence, test. You know, so you get they say test, right? A variance of temperature, they say handle, touch, try, test. Latin alteration is explainable only as an ancient error due to some confusion. I mean, as to provoke, you know what I mean, as in the reference of tempting. Alright? So, brothers, I hope that is very edifying to you all. We'll give all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, and continue double honors to the apostle of great mercy and to the brothers on the highways and byways. Alright? It's Rai Banyonyum. See you in the next post production. Shalom.